Bruce Willis was a top favorite for many people who grew up in the 70s and 80s. But unfortunately, we won't be seeing him in new movies anymore. Willis's situation has been heartbreaking for fans to take in. He rose to fame as Detective John McClane in Die Hard and hit a career peak playing an oil driller named Harry in Armageddon. Even later on in The Siege, he was still going strong, showing that he could hold his own. In his later years, though, he ended up doing a bunch of films that didn't really get much attention, and people couldn't understand why. The truth is, his memory and speaking ability started to decline, so he couldn't remember his lines, and even regular conversation became hard. Major studios stopped reaching out, and knowing his acting career was winding down, Willis tried to make some extra money for his family. Unfortunately, things went downhill quickly right after he retired. He was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, and now he doesn't even recognize the people closest to him. His condition is only going to get worse, which has saddened fans worldwide. He grew up with a stutter, so it's amazing he became an actor and a global superstar. Today, let's dive into the life story of Bruce Willis, once one of Hollywood's biggest action stars. Willis was born on March 19, 1955, in Germany to a German mother and an American soldier stationed there. He was the oldest of 4 kids, and the family moved to New Jersey when he was 2. Willis often said he grew up in a blue-collar household, and a lot of his roles reflected that background. He struggled with a stutter in school, constantly getting teased. It wasn't until high school that he found a way to overcome it, thanks to joining the drama club. Surprisingly, he didn't stutter when he was performing on stage, which boosted his confidence. He became popular, even got elected as the student council president. After high school, he worked a bunch of different jobs, but couldn't shake his passion for acting. He ended up going back to school to study theater at Montclair State University, just 14 miles from New York City, which meant he could go out for auditions a lot. In 1977, he took his first off-Broadway role as a stand-in for the lead actor. It didn't pay much, so he kept bartending and waiting tables to make ends meet. Funny enough, his bartending skills even got him a bit of fame. He got his first film appearance in 1980 when a casting director saw him at the bar and invited him to try acting. For a few years, he only landed small roles until 1985 when he stood out in an audition against 3,000 others for Moonlighting. He brought a ton of charm and humor that made him perfect for the role. The show became a huge hit, and his cheeky personality paired with his female boss was a fan favorite. It won multiple awards, including an Emmy and Golden Globe for Willis, and he was broken to Hollywood. In 1987, he starred in a comedy, playing a lead role for the first time in a film, shifting from TV to movies. Everyone thought he was on his way to becoming a comedy star, but one upcoming action movie would change everything, cementing him as a major action hero. 1988 marked a major turning point in Bruce Willis's career when he starred in Die Hard, but the casting for the lead role didn't go smoothly. Just like in Moonlighting, finding the right actor for Die Hard became a headache. Back in the 80s, action movie stars were usually these unstoppable heroes, but Die Hard was different. The main character, John McClane, was just a regular cop. He had no special skills and spent most of the movie injured and on the run. So action icons like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, and Clint Eastwood all turned down the role. With everyone else passing, Bruce Willis finally got the part. The studio was so relieved to find someone for the role that they upped his pay to $5 million. But even then, they weren't too confident in him, so much so that the first Die Hard poster didn't even show his face, just a shot of the building. When the movie finally hit theaters, though, audiences went wild. Die Hard wasn't just an action movie. It brought suspense, strategy, and a confined setting into the mix, reshaping the genre. Before John McClane, action heroes were these invincible muscle men tearing through enemies. But McClane was different. He was a down-to-earth guy, rough around the edges, dealing with work troubles and family issues. When he got hurt, you could see the pain. And when he was up against terrorists, he didn't try to be a hero. He panicked and ducked for cover. His flawed, real guy portrayal struck a chord with audiences everywhere. With Die Hard, Bruce didn't just play McClane, he brought the character to life in a way that made people love him. This fresh take on an action hero made McClane as iconic as Rambo or the Terminator, rocketing Bruce to a list status in Hollywood. After Die Hard, they finally put Bruce's face front and center on the next movie posters. The film ended up being the 7th highest grossing movie worldwide that year, pulling in $137 million, blowing away the studio's expectations and stunning critics and industry insiders who hadn't seen his appeal. The Die Hard series went on to make 5 films, with Bruce playing McClane for 25 years by the time Die Hard 5 came out in 2013. This role launched him to fame, and he rode that wave to the top. After his breakout, Bruce took a shot at writing and starring in his own film, Hudson Hawk, in 1991. Unfortunately, it was a flop in the US, even earning 6 Golden Raspberry nominations and winning 3, one of the low points in his career. By 1994, Bruce Willis was at the height of his career, starring in 3 completely different films that year: the thriller Color of Night, the Berlin-based drama Nobody's Fool, and Pulp Fiction, which became legendary in movie history, even winning the Cannes Film Festival's top prize, the Palme d'Or. Pulp Fiction, made on an $8.5 million budget, grossed over $200 million, a 22-fold return. His quirky, tough guy role fit his style perfectly, combining humor with action, and the film received 7 Oscar nominations. Today, it still ranks on best film lists worldwide. Over the next few years, Bruce kept scoring at the box office, though the Razzie Awards seemed to love calling him out, and he even won a Razzie for Worst Actor in 1998. At that time, however, fellow action stars Stallone and Schwarzenegger also had multiple Razzie nods, so it almost felt like a badge of honor in that circle. In 1998, he starred in Michael Bay's sci-fi Armageddon, playing an oil driller sent by NASA to blow up an asteroid headed for Earth. This over-the-top story got a lot of criticism from physicists and movie critics, but audiences loved it, with the movie grossing $550 million globally and winning the top box office spot of the year, plus earning 4 Oscar nominations. Bruce began to shift away from typecast roles, and in 1999 he starred in M. Night Shyamalan's supernatural thriller The Sixth Sense. This time he played a gentle child psychologist who forms a fatherly bond with a young patient. Although Willis initially took on the role with low expectations, the film became a massive success, grossing $672 million worldwide on a $40 million budget, second only to Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace that year. The movie even earned 6 Oscar nominations and became a surprise hit. Then in The Whole Nine Yards he played a deadpan hitman, bringing a mix of dark humor and toughness to the role. During filming, he bet co-star Matthew Perry that if the film did well, he'd cameo on Friends for free. He ended up guest starring in 3 episodes, boosting Friends ratings and earning an Emmy for his performance. This appearance led to even more success, with his 2002 war film Heart's War getting solid praise. The early 2000s marked the high point of Bruce Willis's career, but after that, things took a downturn. His acting career went into a steady decline, and in just a few years he churned out multiple box office flops. While he still had some solid roles here and there, the days of him single-handedly drawing in big-ticket sales were gone. Bruce was still taking on lots of roles, but both his film quality and his roles started to slip. During this time, he began to make more cameo appearances in various movies, still earning big paychecks even for small parts. However, this led to him being labeled a washed-up actor and a box office poison. In 2013, 2 of Bruce's iconic franchises, Die Hard and Red, had new sequels. He went back to his bread and butter action style, but by then, superhero movies full of CG had taken over. Though his movies did okay at the box office, they couldn't keep up with the new trend. In particular, the Die Hard series took a hit. Its Rotten Tomatoes score dropped from 94% for the first movie all the way down to 15% for the 5th. Around this time, the Expendables franchise came along as a sort of tribute to old-school action stars, giving Bruce one last taste of the spotlight. But after a dispute over salary with Sylvester Stallone, he missed out on the sequels. At this point, it felt like he had run out of options. Then came the deluge of low-budget films. Bruce started accepting roles left and right, often in movies so low quality they didn't even make it to theaters and went straight to DVD. His face would still be front and center on the movie posters, but many of these films were so bad that the plot could work even if the scenes were entirely cut. Overnight, Bruce went from Hollywood's A-list to following in the footsteps of Nicolas Cage as the new king of bad movies. In 2021 alone, he starred in 7 movies that bombed, prompting the Golden Raspberry Awards to make a special category just for him, the Bruce Willis Worst Performance of 2021 award. However, shortly after this, his family revealed that Bruce had been diagnosed with aphasia, a condition affecting his memory and speech. Memorizing lines had become so difficult he needed an earpiece to be fed prompts, and later, even holding normal conversations became a challenge. With his health rapidly declining, Bruce kept working, hoping to provide as much as he could for his family. But in March 2022, it was clear he could no longer act, and his family announced his retirement from the industry. Out of respect for his condition, the Golden Raspberries later decided to withdraw his Worst Performance award. Then, in 2023, his diagnosis was updated to frontotemporal dementia, a severe form of dementia with no cure. His family reports that he no longer recognizes them. His second daughter posted a video on social media showing her holding her father's hand as he stared blankly ahead. His wife has also asked the paparazzi not to shout or provoke him in public, fearing it might confuse or scare him, and the family is now coming to terms with the fact that one day he may not remember any of them. It's heartbreaking to see the tough guy from the big screen in such a vulnerable state. We remember his glory days with a sense of nostalgia while also feeling the sting of life's unpredictability. All we can do is wish him peace in his fight against the illness. Bruce, before the memories fade, remember you were always a true action hero.